right. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Oh,
Welcome.
I just love it so much how smooth technology is nowadays. Smooth when I first did streaming 3 years ago. When I first started my channel, I raced to affiliate in no time because I was doing a bunch of coding streams, and that's how you get there. Like, that's how you get a lot of the support is coding streams. So you got to give people a mix of like being seen and heard. And that's why I love doing Clash of Code, because you could interact with other people that are learning how to code. A lot of people that are better at coding than me, and that's fine. I'm okay to admit, I've seen how much I don't know, and so I have an understanding of just how much I don't actually know as far as coding goes, and algorithms and complex things and stuff like that. But if I had the time and I needed to, yes, I could definitely learn it. And that's the beautiful thing about learning education and all that, is like anybody is capable of doing it. These are not some magical, mysterious things that, it used to be, and reading was the key to unlock that. With the ability to read, you're able to understand so much more. And for the longest time, like even in this country, we kept a certain slaves from being able to read. So I don't know, I'm getting into a lot of political and religious discussions and debates, and that's always been that way. Like XApp has probably been my favorite tool for basically social engineering, but social engineering of a positive light. Like I'm not out there trying to steal anything from anybody. I could really care less. Well, don't get me wrong, actually I should phrase that better. I could care less if someone gets caught for stealing. There you go. Because at the end of the day, that's like why I do a lot of the white hat stuff, is because I've seen one person that's elderly get defrauded is too many. But the biggest target of fraud is the elderly section of other countries. Now, the countries doing it, they don't really care. There's no repercussions. There's entire countries scamming out there. They're trying to scam. They've got some sophisticated tools, but the best tool that we can use is education and public education to protect people. Specifically the elderly. So I'm actually working on doing a thing with the Buena Vista High School. There's nothing official yet. And whenever I say these things, I'm not trying to name drop, be like, oh, haha, like I have the full support and good faith of. No, in fact, most places do not even know what I'm doing. So the few that do know what I'm doing, they're really excited and they're on board with it. So much so I now have an agent and when I say agent, operative maybe, but these are all peaceful educators and tech nerds and white hats. So there should never be anything intimidating unless you're out there doing wicked things, perverting religion, perverting a country's constitution, perverting law. And so that's the biggest thing right now, is our sitting president is pardoning people that should have been paying this country close to $1 billion, and even Al Jazeera picked up on it. So, and that, again, XApp, it's great because I'm trying to debate people with respect and ethics and being polite, but actually here's this, and try not to attack anybody, because it's really easy to attack people online. Much more so than in person, because you're a coward behind a keyboard. You can say anything you want, and then you don't have to deal with the repercussions. Well, same with these scammers in these other countries. I'm going to make it to where they know, and they are publicly shamed for what they do. They know their victims' faces. They know, the people that they hurt. And it's not just them, it's politicians too. Our country needs a major overhaul. Again, peaceful, but serious perversions of our country. Our forefathers are rolling around in their graves, most likely, if that's even a thing, because of just how, well, perverted our country has become to unfavorably favor... Is that unfavorably? To basically favor the wealthy bourgeoisie class and let them eat cake has not gone anywhere. And it's because the people that are in power will stay in power, and they'll do everything they can to keep their life comfy. And if there's time to think about everybody else. And I think that's why I've been a lifelong Democrat, is because at least on paper, that's what they say they're trying to do. They say they're trying to fix things for the common person, and they constantly talk about, we need to provide for the common person, whereas with the Republicans, it's a thinly veiled lie the whole time. It's yes, they want to make America great, but only for the 1%. It's kind of great for everybody else, but at the same time, people on the low end of the totem pole, which is everybody not born in a wealthy family, Like they're automatically going to have to fight harder, work harder, and do extra things. Whereas like, you know, big wealthy families, oh yes, we have the library right there, and they've been literate there. Like all of their families been literate. And then you take away slave families, which is basically like any African American. And I do have to say that because I've been following this guy, this person, DJ Soulchild, who's awesome. A little over the top sometimes, but like, I mean, very entertaining. And like, and also, sorry, a lot of his stuff is not entertaining in a good way. And I like I was smiling as I was just saying that, but like he has people making death threats against his kids for being black, and like that's not okay. But what is okay is he's holding them accountable and exposing them. Like he's getting these hateful people out there, and like, and really everybody should learn that what you say on the internet can come back and will come back to bite you if you're not careful. Like, and even if you are careful, if it's a death threat, you betcha, like the feds can investigate and, you know, they won't do much. They might send you a message and be like, hey, we found you to do this, and this is a crime. You know, this is menacing of a felony nature to threaten somebody, and you could go to jail for this. Like, I mean, they're probably not going to jail anybody over that, but I would send a message at least. And I'm actually going to be working with the feds in a little bit as a civilian capacity, just to kind of help report like the attacks that I've seen on the business I work for. It's a nonprofit higher education, so like, and I feel like that's how all higher education, all healthcare, law should be. But yeah, in fact, I need to check on something that it's probably too late, but I don't know. Statute of limitations should really like never go away. I mean, it could be agreed upon to like maybe some alternate way of dealing with something. Like, I'm talking about my own legal fines. Like, we put down 20 grand, and it was supposed to be just a retainer. So, like, you know, not all of it. And I was supposed to be refunded what wasn't used. Well, I know for a fact my court case did not come anywhere. Neither of the court cases came anywhere close to, like, the second one was just like, okay, now here's what we do. The first one, there was a lot of, like, you know, fighting and going back and forth, and, like, it's just, you really need, and this and that, and, like, a bunch of theatrics. When at the end of the day, I got in trouble for beating up a rapist and having some mushrooms. Like, that was it. That was my original crime, my first one. And it was so terrible, so horrible that, And now, if it happened today, I would have gotten a weekend in jail, maybe probation, I don't know, but probably not, actually, because the mushroom charge wouldn't have even happened. I was 21. They were in my house. I wasn't selling them. I just happened to have them. And they weren't even in my room. They were in the rapist's room. So that, first of all, that was hilarious. Like, they should have been his, but I copped the charge for it, because technically they were mine, but he was drying them for me. So, like, but they were in his possession. So riddle me that, Batman. Like, you know, like, so he was doing criminal activity for me. So, and he got off unscathed. Better than unscathed. I actually had to pay him money because I stole everything out of the house. And normally I'm not a thief. I hate thievery. I hate, like, because it's making a decision for somebody else that they did not expect to make. And that's not fair. Anytime that kind of thing happens. So, but yeah. But he stole from me many, many times. You know, drugs, money, alcohol, women. Not that they're objects to be traded with and bartered. However, if I would be like working, you know, on trying to impress a lady at a party or something, he would just come in and just take her. He would just like, you know, like distract and just like, you know, jump in. And she'd be all warmed up and excited to have like a good time that night and everything. And then like, cool. And then he would just swoop in, you know, push me to the side or like have me distracted. Be like, hey, so-and-so needs you over here. I'd be like, okay. And then he would come in and start sweet talking the lady that I would just been. And one time, like, I even talked to the lady afterwards. She was just like, I don't know why you left. I thought you were both going to come in. I was like, no, that's not how it works. Like, nobody communicated that to me. And I was literally like drawing graffiti all over this woman's body. Like, it was very intimate. And like, she was like naked and I was like drawing on her in the middle of a party. And like, we were playing strip beer pong. And she was she was wearing my snowboarding helmet. So if there is any other way to like mark something out, to communicate, hey, I'm trying to like spend some time with this lady later, like leave her alone. And this guy, nope, just comes in, swoops her, and then nobody thinks to stop to talk. So that was just one of the many reasons why, like, I am going to get even with that guy, again, peacefully. But And I wonder if he's watching all of these things. Like I would if I was in his position, because he's looking at potentially like 20 years prison time for getting away with drugging people. Like, I mean, the cops take that pretty seriously, and they now know about the dude that I beat up, and well, I didn't even beat him up. That's the funny thing. I like to say that because if he ever like tries to correct me, be like, no, it was a pretty even fight. In fact, I was winning. Like he just admitted that like he fought for rape. Like so, I'm gonna brag and say the fish is this big a little bit. I mean, and I had a couple of buddies there, a couple Norteños, and a couple other friends, and like. And they said, they're like, well, you did pretty good. I mean, the dude's much bigger than you, and like you held your own for a while there. I mean, I was like slamming him into the bike rack with like he had an impression of bike tires on his back. Like it was actually pretty. but I was bleeding from the nose, the lip, the mouth. He put me in a headlock at the end there, and I couldn't breathe. And that's real. That is real. Like I mean, the terror of not being able to breathe and suffocating and choking out. Oh, I cannot. Like, I mean, I was just like yelling at him and, just a little inebriated and like, we were just like cat fighting, like, rah, 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 until he did that. Then I was like, ooh. And that's when I grabbed the butterfly knife, the baseball bat, broke the baseball bat against the TV. Yeah, the TV was stronger. But it's just one of the things that we argued with. Like, I mean, oh, he's got all these nice, fancy things, and I'm over here busting my hump, like, trying to make it to where everybody can party hardy, and he's just like, oh, I'm so deserving of this. But I don't even have enough of my stuff. I'm going to take your stuff. Oh, rich prick. Like, nah, with no concept of, like boundaries, really. Like, you just, like, take my stuff and just be like, just pretend it didn't happen. Like, well, what is he going to do about it? And I just imagine that was, like, his internal monologue. So anyways, so there's that. But that's just one iron in the fire. And I've had that going for this entire year. Mainly because he potentially assaulted a woman that I have a lot of respect and love for, and I always will. But also because I met one of his victims. Like, now let's talk about that. I could be as noble as I want, as petty as I want. Like, there are many reasons why I want to see that dude, like, in prison. But the biggest one was because once I bonded out, and I went out drinking with some people in my neighborhood, and one of the gals there said, hey, because I was explaining to him, like, what happened, like, why I was in jail for the weekend, like, why did they arrest you? What was all that? What was the fight about? And I explained it. I was like, well, I called him out about the switcheroo. Like, that was the last word. Those were the last words out of my mouth before he punched me. I was like, what about the switcheroo? Which he knew instantly what I was talking about. It was his fraternity's plan to drug and assault college women. Yeah, they would drug women, and then they would switcheroo, and then they would trade victims, and not even trade. They would pick their victim to begin with. It was like they were in like a candy store, and like, which woman do I want to sleep with tonight? They don't get a say in this. They're getting drugged, they're getting dragged to a room, they're getting raped, and then they're going to get dumped and denied. That's the other big thing. Like they would like post up together. They would like come together to make sure that everybody knew that this lady was a hussy. She was lying. She drank way too much for her own good, and discredit her, make her feel like any of that. Like, my blood's boiling even just saying that. Like, not only did you assault somebody, and now they have to worry, like, oh my gosh, am I going to get pregnant? Like, I'm not on birth control. What do I do? And they just, like, did they wear protection? Did they have an STD? Like, all of these choices that usually women take a long time to decide, and understandably so. Like, that's a life-changing situation. Whereas for the guy, it's like, 1-2 pump done, and then like, oh, you had your fun, and now you're off somewhere else. Like, and as a guy, I hate to admit it, like, there have been nights like that for me, but I was always so paranoid that the woman would like change her mind the next day and be like, actually, I didn't want to do that. And it's like, dang it. Because I understood like how much stress and pressure goes into women to, have sex, whereas men, we don't think that much. Literally, the blood drains from our body, from our big head, and it fills the lower head. So we have lowered ability to think, to process. In fact, I just the other night had an amazing time, and I couldn't even talk. Like, after we were done, I was so like just brain dead. I was like, wow. And so, yeah, anyways. So as a man, I need to stick up for the people that don't understand what that is, first of all, because it's got to be very scary and confusing to understand. Like, you see those statistics, like almost every, like 1 out of 3 women or 1 out of 2, I don't even know. I think it's something ridiculous, but I believe it. It's like 1 out of every 2 women is assaulted in their lifetime, and most of the time it's by somebody they knew or trusted. Because that's what they try to do. They try to build up these walls, these barriers, like they let people in that they want to have access in. I don't know. And then, so long story short, the police are investigating. So I've done my duty with that. Partly, I'm still going to try to reach out to Kendrick Lamar. I already did. I sent him a message. I sent his manager a message and said, "Hey, I would like to collaborate with Kendrick." And actually, it's my buddy Jacob Lyle, who, and I think he's got mixed feelings about it. Like, I told him my idea, and he didn't really say like, "Yeah, man, let's do it." Like, he was just like, like, because he does some amazing music, and that's the music that I play for my streams. Most streams, not my gaming streams as much. My tech streams for sure. I've started playing it for my gaming streams. Just having a computer nearby that you can hear it through the headphones, but that's not as good as like a direct feed. And I'm going to get a game capture card. I am still very much paycheck to paycheck because of some nonsense politics at my work, but I thought I was going to get a promotion, but instead I just got a name change and, yeah. And I've talked about that before. Basically, my coworker's an idiot. Like, I mean, he's a nice guy and he has his moments, but he's basically an idiot when it comes to computer science because he never did a degree. Like, and I say that not to be mean. It's just like he is vastly underqualified for the job in which he just got a promotion into. Because he talks a lot. He whines and complains, and he he talks about people gaming the system, and he says he hates it because he's worked in higher education for 25 years. So I'll give him that. But like 25 years of housing and dining services, like auditing, like funds and stuff, like that is zero relevance to a computer science. And so now he's a system admin, and I'm an IT systems analyst. So no more money. A heck of a lot of responsibility, and that's one of the things I'm working on right now. Is like, it does no good to just keep saying like what's going on. I gotta prove it, and so already I proved that I've been with the company 3 years, and I've done over 1 ticket for every day I've been with the company. That's how many IT tickets I've closed, not just had, like closed and finished and done. Now there's a lot of calls. You grab it and you close it, but you did that work. Little 5 seconds, 10 seconds of work. Actually, it's more than that. It's easily 5 minutes of work because you have to read what's going on, check the from address, like do a little investigating, be like, what is this person trying to talk to us about? Because somebody took the time to send us an email, which creates an IT ticket, and then we have record of that. And that's one of the other things. That's how I'm going to be talking to the feds. Is I've organized all the scams. Not all of them. Like, there's the little ones that I like, we might investigate it if there's time. But there's some big ticket ones, like 50 grand in invoices they're trying to get companies to pay. So that's the kind of stuff the feds want to know about. And I would like the feds to know about that. I really would. I mean, I think that's something that I think we can all agree that those people are pricks trying to steal 50 grand from a nonprofit. Like, like we're already like not the big evil corporation. In fact, we're quite the opposite. We try to help people out. We get scholarships for people that have like less money and like, and I'm working on a few really cool and rewarding projects doing that. So, and actually, you know what? Let's go ahead. I want to finish up some of my memorial houses. So, and I woke up, I'm still on European time a little bit. So it is just now a little after 7. I don't have to even get ready for work until 8. So I wanted to hop on here and document some stuff and really get back to the Minecraft, because this is one of my favorite games. Oh, and actually, I'm only going to take this and this. Yeah, see, I have a controller drift, and not going to be able to get a new controller anytime soon because I need to feed my kids and make sure the rent's paid. And my rent's going up almost $100. So I thought it was like, so I pay 17. It's supposed to be $17.50, right? But like the real estate or the renting company. Oh wow. Oh yeah. Oh, that's another project I'm doing. So we've got this. Oops. This was like one of just the big areas, and I'm extending it because I don't like keep packing them in here. Basically, like, well, this is not. This is more like a hostel or a jail or like a temporary, like, they're all camped out. This is actually what work release looks like. You have nice beds, but you sleep right next to somebody else, like literally right next to somebody else. They pack in as many people as they can. So then I'm extending it. I'm going to make a room down here, but you also got to be careful because then they might have trouble getting back up here. So you either need to have their job blocks down here and their beds down here, but also I'm going to like make an exit out, and then I'm going to do another one down here. Yep, see? Like this guy. Are you able to go up? Come on, come on. What I should do is I should do a water elevator that eventually they'll stumble on, and it just shoots them back up here. See, now you're fine. Kinda. Yeah, there's already... Oh, I forgot I did a second one. So 1, 2... I'm going to have a third one minimum, and this actually breaks into this other basement of this house, which I just cleared out a bunch of diorite. That's why it looks all choppy. Oh, gosh. It's okay. So I broke into the water. We'll show where this one goes out at. And I had to close that off because somebody fell down here, and I think that might be what that guy was. And so this is just like a nondescript house, just a normal, small little house that spawned in. The only thing I added really were the torches on the outside. Okay, I guess those were... no. There. Try to spread them out to where when I do switch it off of peaceful, which I almost always play in peaceful. I just don't care. I could fight and kill and destroy and blah, 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 but And then I also got to sleep. Like, who's got time for sleeping? And for those that know me, I used to hack my brain quite a bit and go sleep deprived, which is not healthy. I do not recommend it at all. You need your sleep. You need minimum 6 hours, but really you should have 8 hours every night. All right. And also the other silver lining of spending time in this is my memorial area for all the people that have passed away and become ancestors in my life. People that were close to me. People that I love and respect. Starting with when I was 18. Lost one of my friends. We weren't like super close, but like we were closer when we were younger. And I have a really good friend. I would say he was my best friend growing up until he betrayed me. He stole. This was really bad because like he stole toys from me that I cherished that were very expensive, and my family. Like, my dad let me know how expensive Legos were. Like, I mean, he was just, and he had his own demons. Like, I love my, and please know that, like, when I talk about him in this, it was the utmost respect, and I would have done the same thing if I was him. Like, there is no delusion that he was, like, some different than me. He just didn't have legal weed. Like, he had legal alcohol, and his brain was like a tinkerer's brain. It like, never shut off until he shut it off. And I get that. Like, he was probably on some kind of spectrum or ADHD or ADD or something that so many of us have and we're now addressing that. Tylenol. That's what the current president's blaming it on. Like, okay, like... and maybe, but I'm going to wait until a scientist tells me this. Like, whenever he gets out and he starts spitballing ideas, he's just trying to throw ideas at a wall and make it stick like a business person. Like, he's not out there trying to solve any medical problem. No, he's out there trying to problem solve with respect to keeping him and his buddies rich. Like, he is conserving a system that unfavorably allowed a bunch of white families specifically to just get all this fame and everything, and black families had to struggle. Now, granted, a lot of black families had someone that got into sports or acting or politics, and and they made it. There's a lot of black famous people, very rich and wealthy. But not uber wealthy, like just got pardoned for like hundreds of millions of dollars, like hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, I say that the average person might make $1 million in their entire lifetime. Everything from start to finish, every job, every paycheck, every bonus, every holiday they spent working for the grind, like everything. And for what? So some rich prick can go golfing and cheat at golf? Like, nah, nah. They're gonna eat cake and they're gonna eat your business. Like, just kidding. And that's one of the projects I'm actually working on. So it's the CTC cut the crap. Like, basically removing the spin and tactics that politicians use to trick, convince, and divide this country. And it's both sides too. It's not just. I mean, it's much more the conservatives. They're trying to trick and manipulate to keep a broken system broken. Now the Democrats are trying to cheat and manipulate to keep it going, to keep liberating these people that up until recently did not have it very good, did not have the same American dream that you or I have. Like, you know, and I'm talking to my white people out there. Like, you got it easy. We got it easy. And I can tell you exactly how. With the black markets alone, I got pulled over several times, hardly ever harassed. And it wasn't just because, oh, I'm just that great of a guy. Now, granted, I was very respectful and very understanding. I knew the assignment. I knew what was going on. I was educated about what to do during a traffic stop, even with felonious drugs in the car, weapons, like, you know, whatever. And honestly, the weapons hardly ever really happened. But that was one of those things. Is like you got to pretend it does, just because, you know, you got to act cool, but it really doesn't. Like most people that deal in the black markets, they just want to do the deal, get done, and get back home to where they can use substance. Like, or they're planning a trip or a rave and they just need the substance for that. So, oh, and there's my alarm to wake up for the day. Let me go ahead and let's see. All right, is it still? Uh-oh. I don't think it's capturing my voice. Or maybe it is. That's so weird. All right, now it is. Maybe there's just a lag with my phone. But anyways, you know, for all my friends that died for various reasons, that's what this memorial is. And eventually I'll probably move villagers over here and stuff. We'll just have the houses dedicated to the past. And instead of, like, you know, the pharaohs used to bury like all these gold treasures and everything with the pharaoh, and the pharaoh would take that to the afterlife. And it's like, you know, because they wanted to think that all the work and the grinding they did in the real life, and of course all the stuff they got from wronging other people, like that had to weigh on their consciences, or their conscience. I don't know. Ooh, that's another thing. Uh-oh. There's just a floating bunch of... Oh, I do want to set an... taking a promotion away from me. Like, oh wait. Oh. Supposed to get paid today, but it could, I think it's, since it didn't hit overnight, usually I've noticed that it's either on like the extremes of the day, either like first thing in the morning or last thing at night, and like, so I'll get paid. Oh, crud. Whoops. You gotta be careful with the snow here. And this really isn't worth it. Like the bigger snow clumps, maybe. Ah, see. Because this shovel is so powerful that just clicking on a dirt block will remove the dirt block. Okay. And that's why I like working over here. And yeah, a lot of these are just half finished, not even done. Greg's is done. Greg was the most recent to pass away. It's something that I probably could have prevented had my project been a little farther along. But it wasn't just me. But I was like one of the final nails in the coffin now. So he was my boss at a Noodles and Company. And he committed suicide, from what I understand. Life was just not that great for him. And he was the boss. He was becoming too old to be the boss. He was like thinking about retirement. He lost a bunch of people, myself included. Like I quit after I was supposed to be a manager. In fact, let's see. I think I made like this into a multi thing. So this is like his bedroom with a beautiful view. And then even like more space. So this could be like his secret stash room, his lounge. Because he was an old hippie, and he was like a weed smoker way during the Prohibition days, which people are going to be looked at as bootleggers. Like anybody that worked in the black markets of cannabis, like myself. And I did. In fact, let's go back to these very beginning ones. And then this is just a horse stable for the area. These horses with a nice, comfy hay floor. Those are all hay bales. So they've got plenty of food. And I like to pretend that they get out, they get to go roam around free and everything, which isn't the case because they could fall off, and maybe at some point I will. But anyways, the very first person dead, my buddy Chad. He died from a DUI. Trying to act cool for the people, trying to go on a liquor run. And he crashed. He and the buyer got injured. He died. The buyer ended up suing his family for the crash. It was just a whole mess, even though he was, I mean, it was all bad. Like, everybody had a little bit of blame there. And I was actually at that party, but I left early. Because I wasn't that big into drinking. I mean, of course I was doing it, but I'd much rather smoke and just chill. Yeah, and we've got these signs. I'm going to put up, like, their names, like, who they are and stuff. But there's Chad. Then my buddy Brett. So he was getting into the black markets of cannabis with myself. Yeah, these are much simpler houses. They died when they were, I think he was like 20. Still like super young. Like, and my buddies and I didn't find out because we'd all drifted apart. We found out later, and that was a hate crime because he was not white. Had no idea. Like, in fact, that might still be investigated, so I need to be careful how much I talk about that. But basically, I mean, they know who did it. So yeah, and I was told that like 2 years or 3 years ago. Oh yeah, actually over 3 years ago was the last time I talked to that lady, but she was married to a cop and told me what was going on with it. Which is everybody's right that has a security clearance. You have the right to tell people. I mean, you're not supposed to, but at the same time. Yep, so there's Greg. Started doing the house signs. There's Dwight, my buddy's dad. He was the other more recent one. These houses, like, I also want to get that snow. Let's see, it's just not done. And he passed away within the last 3 years. Just didn't go to the doctor enough, like preventable stuff. And he was a vet, and he had to go through so much. It was just disgusting. Okay, but that's why I want to like do some houses. If I, well, I mean, because yeah, like I said, I'm probably gonna have like real villagers move into these things. It's just but he gets another beautiful view. I might need to go higher up. Like I like the view in Greg's little like smoke room. And Dwight didn't care for the Jesus lettuce, and I will say Jesus lettuce now. But he didn't care much for it because he was so into law enforcement and corrections, like, and military, that he thought and he trusted his government to be like, yep, weed is dangerous, weed is bad. And it's such a shame because, yeah, well, now his son, my buddy, is enjoying it, and it's awesome. And he's like, man, I wish I would have been doing this the whole time. I was like, I know, right? Like, it's crazy that people get so mad. And this is Vic. Oh, yeah, so this isn't even my dad yet. So there's Dwight, there's Vic. This was supposed to be my father-in-law briefly, but my co-parent's dad, who also died from preventable things. If he would have gone to the doctor more, which I need to schedule a checkup and run more and exercise. And I know what the doctor is going to say is your levels are a little high. You need to exercise more. You need to eat less sweets. And I do until I don't. So I got to keep that in check and just keep healthier food in the house. Here's my, wait, Jeff. Oh, right. My dad's going to be, well, actually, no, my dad's going to be over there somewhere because he died when I was 15. So technically he died before Chad. In fact, if I was going by that logic, I would make an addendum. Actually, yeah, and I think that's what I'm going to do. At the end, the head of the street is going to be my dad, but Jeff was a sad one over here. It's a little smaller, like he wasn't as established as the other two gents, but he still deserves a resting place. And I guess I didn't really know him as much as like the other people, but I lived with this guy in a halfway house, and I'd see him at the gym, actually. We went to the same gym, and he passed away. Left behind a kid. Or two, I think, maybe. Ooh, actually, I do have a lot of, Well, I think what I was doing here, so to make them even, but also, like, they'll be tall. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's probably good. Let's get some planks going. Actually, we have lots of planks. So just make Jeff's house. At least 5. That looks about okay. I think this is 6. That looks about right. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to get rid of that foliage because well, maybe not. Maybe if there's like foliage between the houses, that would be okay. Yeah, the sides don't really need windows, so we'll just make that blocked off. And the other thing I'm going to do, so we've got like just what's on top of the, like above ground. I'm going to be putting basements at each one of these houses, so it's going to be even bigger. So. But yeah, that sure eats up the wood. And I kind of do like no windows on the front. I guess some windows on the side. Like that could be like there, and then maybe like this one doesn't have windows there, and then like has a window up high, and then that one doesn't, you know, so they kind of alternate. But the most important thing, we're also going to need some sticks and ladders. Oh, we need windows. Okay, so we do have a lot of glass for that. And stairs. Wait, we need stairs. Okay. We don't really need a whole lot more logs. Like, the logs are done on Jeff's house, so there's that. But stairs. Get up to the next level. So, like... So it should be 3 blocks high, and then another one, I'd say. So technically 4. Oh, and then I'm going to need slabs. So yeah, to maximize the space, go up there. Okay. There. So now, if spirits are such a thing, his spirit can at least come and rest here. I need to make a bed without getting rained on and snowed on and all that stuff. So this is officially a floor. That's kind of what I did for even and not even my own dad's. Originally, my dad's was going to be one of those big ones, but I made that Dwight and Vic, 2 fathers that, like, and Greg was basically a dad too. He had a bunch of adopted kids. Like, he worked at Noodles and Company for decades, and he had helped many high school age kiddos just basically learn life. And like the people that work in those fast food establishments, or even like, well, and technically that's not even the fast food. That's more like the in between where it's still a sit down with the option to go. Oh, whoops, I had a bunch of slabs. Okay. But yeah, so already this is a lot more work than I've done in, well, several months. Like, I started building these probably a year ago at least. And no disrespect to the dead, it's just, wow. That's how much time, thought, and effort I've put towards this. We should at least do this. Then we could do a window like there. Now, same thing for like the actual ceilings. I want to use planks because that still gets just a little bit more. But for the frame, yeah, we can do a frame with a nice window here. This could be Jeff's bedroom and like that. This could be his entertaining room. We could do the windows like slightly up high just to get the light. And I don't know if I like that. Well, actually, yeah, that kind of does look good, how it's like a lip. Like, so if I put... Okay. Oh, whatever. Just go away somewhere. Yeah, I like that. That looks cool. So it's kind of like in a basement type thing. So you get light, but you can't really see. So I'm not like staring into that person's house. Gotta get that view. Okay, we can even continue on. Yeah, let's put a window here. massive window wall on both sides. Oops. There's that drift I was talking about. All right, so there we go. Jeff's house is actually pretty close to done. Let's do the same thing. The sides we don't need. And actually, well, nope. You know, I hope someone does this for me after I die, but if not, I'll just go haunt their video games or something. Okay, now, actually, we could do. I love secret rooms. Actually, oh hey, what's up, bot? It's okay, I'm not going for views today. So, let's see. So that could be like a secret thing. But then I still want this to be. Actually, I'm wondering. Because then. There we go. Okay. Ah. It's hard because I could just barely make it up to. Well, I mean, it just means I got to reposition while I'm looking. There we go. Okay. What's going on? Yeah, like I would just now be waking up, brushing my teeth, eating breakfast, which I already did all that, so. Need to shower. Actually, no, I don't think I did brush my teeth. Whoa, what is going on over there? Interesting. So I can see out past the land, and I think that's bunch of seaweed. And of course, if you look at the mini map, this all looks like it's a heart in the middle. It's like a big heart-shaped lake. Let's see. There you go. You can see where I'm spinning. So I'm in the middle of a heart-shaped lake for the memorial. But that also looks like a hand pinching fingers together and doing like a chef's kiss type thing at the harbor. I guess this is all the harbor, but like the entry point there, I'm going to have a gate and like a way that like, you know, to get ships in, you have to be part of like the approved something. So let's see here. And I think I'm going to put like a fence under here. So like you can see that there's something up there once you're in. And from the outside, you might be able to see. But anyways, yeah, so there's for Jeff. He was a good dude. He was trying to help me out with a job. Which I ended up going with something else, but I still really appreciated him doing that. Like, you know, trying to help me out. And same with this. Like, these two were two of my biggest mentors. In fact, let's just go ahead and well, and actually no, the top two should still be windows. Ah. There we go. Get that snow. There. There we go. Really, I think the top three could be windows, honestly. I mean, it's really hard with the drift. Okay. So the top two at minimum, let's just keep it top two for now. Okay, and this. Okay. Yeah. No. If you click and drag the wrong way, it'll start just building all sorts of them. All right, let's try to do it this way. No. Nice. And actually, yeah, let's do a window on the front wall. I'm not going to have enough for... I forget whose this is, but they're going to be basically the same floor plan. Vic and Dwight. It's one of the two. Ah. Feel especially bad for... I mean, I didn't see both of them as much as I would have liked, but I mean, I think that's life with everybody. But I mean... like Vic especially, because we were kind of estranged, and like I wanted to go hang out with him and go hang out with like his grandkids and stuff, my kids, but it just wasn't in the cards near the end there, and he just died all suddenly. So then it was like crud, like, you know, one of the things that I got to worry about. Like, I mean, I know, yeah, that was Vic's, okay, So, like, one of the things I probably could have done better, I probably could have, like, done more effort, but at the same time, I had my own things going on. So, like, I hope he understands. I'm sure he does, wherever he's at, if there is an afterlife. Wait, let's go ahead. We got a little bit of time. Let's go ahead and do up Dwight's, too. At least that far, like what we did there. Okay. I mean, so this is a pretty respectable house. You got this, it's pretty empty, and I still got to come back and, like, actually decorate it and put things in these. Like, yeah, I'm going to do the same thing in the top two. Huh, I could walk out of that. Thinking almost like the top three would be fine. Is that what I did over there? No. There we go. Oh, can't forget the most important one. Well, not the most important one. This is just a nice view of the front of all the treetops and whatnot. You know what I could do? Ooh, they could all come with stargazing setups. That's what's up. So if they're having a hard time sleeping, but they want to stay protected from the elements, they could just go up to the attic. I mean, this is the most important window, I feel like, because then you can see all of this. I'm going to have a giant, like, white, like, mountain fortress, like, coming out of the mountain. There's the elevator. Excuse me. Oh, and this one. I like this though. I think I'm gonna actually do that. So they can see each other. Whoa. Using stairs. Okay. What's this? Hmm. All right. Cool. Well, so at least there is a roof, and then there is a second floor, which this is still exposed to the elements. Let me go ahead and need some planks for that. Now we're about equidistant to crafting tables. Maybe. Oh, no, maybe this one's a little farther. This was like originally, like I had a setup. I was like, okay, maybe I want to build a house of this, that. So we need the ladder. Okay. No, you know what? I think it should be one higher. Like this. We could cut this out. Yeah, I like that better, because then we can get the full window. Okay, and I'll give a proper eulogy and celebration of life for each of these people. I'll do like a special episode where all it is explaining their life stories and what could be done to try to prevent other people from following the same fate. So, biggest thing, healthcare, like literally mental health and physical health. So, mental health for this first one, for Greg, and then physical health for both Dwight and Vic. And like, this is really bad news. Like, that many people died because of greed. That's all it was. I mean, you can basically narrow it down to like greedy people wanted to make more money. So what they did, let's actually just make a crafting table so I don't have to keep walking back and forth. But, well, here, let's have him have a crafting table here. Okay. Oh, well. There. So now, there. It's very flat, but that's another cool thing I could do. And the more I hang out here, the more snow will accumulate on these higher areas. That's what I need to do. So hopefully the snow will accumulate all the way to Cant on a slab. So, and then what I was going to do for the middle, which I still can, let's keep that. What? How come I can't? What? You can't put a ladder on a stair? That's weird. All right. Well, either way. And what I was going to do, let's go ahead and do the same for this other side. Well, do I have enough? I don't have enough wood. Let's actually do a couple of these. Basically what I want to do is put like glass blocks up there so then you can see the sky. Oh, that'd be cool. I mean, and maybe even like have like a stairway up there, like the same idea, and then have like a nice big room here, but like a hidden sky gazing room up top, which I might still do. So, but for now, I'm close to that time. I need to start thinking about work, and people are going to start sending me messages here. And like they have messages scheduled to go at 8 a.m. So I've been trying to explain to my boss and my coworker, like, You know, I'm basically getting it from all sides all the time. Well, let's actually harvest some more wood before we go. We'll cut down a few more trees. And when the alarm goes off, then I'll do a clean cut. In fact, just for the sake of growing a bunch of trees, of course, I had to make them all out of oak, which is one of the harder woods to harvest. So you only get like 3 or 4, like 4, 3, 4, maybe 5 from like each tree. Just now have barely over half a stack. Okay. But I mean, between getting this a little better, more organized, and getting the website more organized, I'm getting all of my projects and all the work kind of figured out, so it doesn't seem so patchwork and random. There is a method to all this madness, and it is to bring clarity and communication to all people worldwide and give people a voice. Like, allow people to vote one way or the other, basically taking polls like Elon tried to start doing, but then he stopped, or he doesn't do it nearly as much. But he had the right idea. Like, the voice of the people should be the will of the world. Like, and unfortunately, all the people that manipulated and perverted justice and systems of politics and everything, they're going to get their comeuppance, and like, they're going to get exposed for what they did, and it's going to seem ridiculous. And then the majority of people are going to be welcomed into the New World Order. And this is the New World Order, not to sound like scary or anything. It's scary to rich people because the shady practices that they've been able to do aren't going to persist. Like, people, once they realize what's going on, they're like, not only are these people not scraping it to survive, they're like living like lavish lives of luxury while like other people have to like struggle all the time. Like, nah. Struggle, be depressed, want to kill themselves, like all of these things, like, all because someone doesn't want to be a little uncomfortable. That's what it boils down to, is your comfort is not worth people's lives. And once people start realizing that, you know, hopefully the people with the conscience, or what's left of the conscience, will actually be like, you know what, you're right, we do need to change this. And it'll exponentially change. But there will still be those people that just absolutely refuse and will go kicking and screaming. And if there is a hell, I feel like they'll go there at least for a while. I like to think of hell as being like a rehab, and like nobody goes forever, but you go until you get your mind right and you realize all the bad stuff you did, and then you gotta, you know, you gotta sit and watch it, and you gotta make up for it, and you don't get to leave until you sincerely apologize for every bad thing that you've done. That's why I feel like everybody has to go through that, and I hope that everybody has to go through that. Because now I'm at a point where I'm like comfortable enough in my life to where I'm going back and trying to make it right for things that I did in my past, like shortcuts I took. And I still remember most of them though. Like, there's people out there that will probably be like, no, you took a shortcut against me. Then I'd have to look at it and be like, okay, yeah, I did, or no, I didn't, and this is why, or something, you know. But just talking to people and just being like, you know, ask them, did I take a shortcut against you? And if they felt I did, then I need to figure out why, you know, then I need to make it right. I don't get to choose how people feel about what I did. You know, that's not my choice. So I think if we all thought that way, like and that's the other thing too, like these people that think they're like paying to get into heaven, like, oh, I'll build a really nice church and that'll make up for all the bad stuff. Nah, you allow like this amount of people to die so you can keep your riches. So you basically killed them, and you're not supposed to kill. Like, if you're a Christian, that's one of like the 10 things you're not supposed to do. Thou shalt not kill. Now, I've had a lot of people tap dance their way around that, including one was a soldier I wasn't trying to guilt trip all vets, be like all vets are evil, but if you killed somebody, whether a country told you to or not, you killed somebody. And if God's really keeping score, you think God's going to be like, oh, you did it for your country. Oh, okay, that makes sense. You know, Top Gun, hoo-ah, and all this. Like, nah. God would probably be like, why'd you kill people? I was very explicit, don't kill people. And here you are, you know, running around killing people for someone else. Like, you know, and all religions kind of frown on taking someone's life. Like, and all religion is a guidebook from elders and ancestors passed down to try to make us act better than they did, you know? Like, and they know what they did wrong. So, like, ooh, maybe we should put a warning label on this. Like, hey, if you get too greedy, it might adversely affect other people. That's actually what I'm going through with my work, is like, you get too greedy, it's going to make it harder on other people because we only have finite resources, and this jerk off, like, I'm sorry, getting a little off key there. But there's the alarm. All right, but anyways, and like I said, I'm working on that. I'm fixing that. I already actually did a couple of visual aids to show that, like, yeah, a degree matters in a tech job. Like, just even having to say that just seems strange. Like, why wouldn't a tech degree matter? Like, you study more than you could know on the street. Like, a degree makes a whole lot of difference. Like, being able to pivot, to be successful in a tech job, and everything. And what this person has is a 30-year-old small screen production degree. That's it. That's it. No degree since then. No boot camps. No education. See, I did a cybersecurity boot camp on top of my undergrad because I wasn't finding good enough work with just my undergrad. So I was like, you know what? I need more education. So I need more specialization in my field. So I did a special interest in cybersecurity and became a certified white hat ethical hacker, which is now on my name tag. Yeah. So, all right. And this is a good place to stop. So, all right, ta-ta for now. I think I'll do some more of these Minecraft streams. I like these. They're nice and peaceful. But, you know, out of respect for the dead, or the ancestors of my life. This is just all, like, all the ones I can remember. Like, there's still more. In fact, I already know there's Kayla, there's Stephanie, there's, like, you know, the lovers that I've lost. And there's even, I think, a third one. See, that's the thing. I feel it's so offensive to just, like, try to remember because I know I'm forgetting people. But I'll fix it. I kind of like the rain better. Can we go back? Is it raining still over here? No. I prefer the rain, but at least we're starting to have roofs. So yeah, there's Dwight, there's Vic, there's Jeff, there's Greg, there's Chad, there's Brett. Oh my gosh, there's so many more. Like Rob. Anyways, then yeah, and I'll put my dad's house right here. It would be like at the head of the path. So, oh, look at that. And I'm gonna extend the cherry trees all the way around, so it's gonna be like a pink ring around this village. So, all right, well, ta-ta for now. I'll see everybody later. It's going to be a bit. I still haven't done a tech stream, so I got to figure that out. I'm hoping for this Sunday, try to get back in the routine. Because every Sunday will be a work day for tech, for my side projects. Still did a lot of work on them, so I mean, I didn't slack off that way. I just didn't want to go on camera, so. All right, ta-ta for now. I'll see you all in the next one.